quickness to this MB lineup, though.
Well, he definitely does. There's no doubt about it. Unlike many of the Mennonite players, he's a lot closer to the ground.
Jamie Fissel, his first bucket, puts Tech back up by 2.
That's got to be a good sign for coaches Bouchard and Martin, because usually Jamie doesn't hit that many from out there.
Vern Peters to inbound to Laboon.
Good job by Vern. I mean, anytime there's any type of pressure, you want to break it, you just simply go to the biggest guy on the floor. Good move by Vern Peters. He leaves Tommy Knott standing there in his tracks.
Fake to the inside, good baseline drive. As you said, Laurie, ties this game up again, 24-all. 8.5 minutes to go, second quarter.
With both teams in this man-to-man, we notice how the tempo of the game's really picked up now, Brian.
3-point attempt. His third of the game by Joe Vieira.
Well, Joe feels very confident at that 3-point line, and he's going to continue, of course, to put them up.
Going to have a 10-second count here pretty soon. Nope, Hans Bolke. Good strip by LaValle.
Good ball check there.
Yep.
Good ball check by Ian LaValle.
The MBCI has forgotten a little bit about the big man.
That's 2 in a row.
You can hear by the crowd noise, it's pro Tec Voc crowd. Joe Vieira hitting that 3 again. Brought down by Knott. Vieira's got the stroke now, and I'm sure he feels good. Game's highest scorer, 12 points on 4 3-pointers.
Well, the thing with Mennonite Brethren, if you're going to go into a man-to-man situation, there's no way that Joe should be able to sit out there at that 3-point line, first of all, as comfortably and as all alone as he's been able to do.
Might see a timeout here soon for MB as Ferdy Chrysosoma hits the baseline J. Tec Voc 32, MB 24. 7 minutes to go, second quarter, third place game. Remember to stay tuned for our championship final with the Ross Shepherd T-Birds from Edmonton against the LaSalle Secondary School Lancers from Sudbury.
It's a good job by Laboon. What we have here now with 6:54 left in the first half, and Tec Voc enjoying that 8-point lead. As you mentioned, Brian, in terms of the Mennonite Brethren Hawks, they were starting to play the Tec Voc's game over the last 2 minutes. And what they have done is they had taken John Laboon out of the game. And as far as Tec Voc is concerned, if the Hawks want to forget about the big man inside, as you get a good look at John there on your screen, they're certainly not going to remind the Hawks of just how important a fixture John Laboon is.
In the valley with that defensive, bad turnover there. Going baseline, Ron. And Ron in double figures now.
It's a good job by Eddie, capitalizing once again on Tec Voc mental mistake.
It's just a little bit lackadaisical, Laurie. I think the thoughts are a little bit quicker than the actions right now.
Well, what we have is it's just not at the Tec Voc side. It's been on both sides ever since the very beginning of the game. And I think what both coaches are looking for is a little bit of intensity.
This is really racehouse basketball right now.
Well, what's got to happen here if you're the Mennonite Brethren Hawks, when Tec Voc comes with that pressure, whether it be man-to-man or whether it be zone pressure, what you've got to do is, in that particular instance, Tec Voc had 4 people in the forecourt. Get a look at Coach Bouchard. He wants him to slow down a little bit. What they have is at this particular time, they have the momentum on their side, but Coach Bouchard doesn't want them to lose it by once again throwing the ball away.
Inside Fissel, back out to LaValle. 2-point attempt. Kept alive by Jamie Fissel. Whoa, Joe Vieira again, his 5th 3-pointer.
Well, once again, Joey on fire. Good steal.
Oh, and there's a 2-pointer. Joe Vieira, 11 points so far, second quarter. Now will be a timeout, Mennonite Brethren. Tec Voc jumping onto a quick 10-point lead, 37-27, 5:44 to go, second quarter.
Well, one of the things we might want to do in terms of this Tec Voc pressure, as we get a good look at the Mennonite Brethren huddle there. First of all, Brian, I don't think we should have John Laboon throwing the ball in. There hasn't been that much pressure put on the player throwing the ball in. What Coach Opalko might want to do is to get John a little further down the floor, have him come back to the middle to initially release all of that pressure. Secondly is on the second pass, following the entry pass on the reversal, if that particular player will look down the floor, there's a number of times the Tec Voc Hornets have been caught with 4 people up the floor. That leaves Laboon, after he releases, all alone down the floor. They got to simply look down. There should be no way that the Tec Voc pressure should be causing this much trouble at this particular time.
We saw in some of our previous VPW games, Laurie, the fact that the best way to break a press is the overland route. Don't put the ball on the floor. Pass the ball. It's the easiest way to break a press. And right now, Mennonite Brethren is guilty of pounding the ball into the floor. It's the easiest way to be trapped by a trapping defense, especially with a smaller team.
Well, that's playing right into Tec Voc hands, as you mentioned earlier, Brian. And what they've got to do is they've got to, as you said, start to move the ball right here. Once again, head down, dribbling the ball, and we end up with a Mennonite Brethren player going down the middle of the floor, uncontested and missed by his own players.
Good board there by Laboon.
An excellent job by John as he stays with it.
Oh, that should have been an offensive foul there by Laboon. Good position by Jamie Thistle.
Well, what's happening at this particular point in the game, John's starting to get a little frustrated. It's really got to hurt the Mennonite Brethren cause when your best player has to go get the ball off the offensive glass, Brian.
It's Tommy Knott with the ball. 5 minutes to go. Tech still sitting on a 10-point lead, 37-27. Oh, Ferdy Christoma running little layup.
Good job by Ferdy, as he's quick to notice, of course, that Laboon is the one who's not watching him in the middle, and he took the ball to the hole real strong.
It's off Laboon's hand. Good deflection there. Tech's got their hands up in the air, deflecting all the passing lanes.
Well, what's happening is Tec Voc's really pumped right now. The game is now, in terms of pace, something that the Hornets like. What's happening, as you mentioned, the Hawks are really having problems with the pressure from Tec Voc, and as long as this continues, Tec Voc is going to enjoy that 12-point lead.
It's Workington all the way. Laboon over the back. Doesn't get the roll, though. A little bass drum in the background now.
Well, what we have, of course, is we're 4:10 left in the first half of the third place game. People are starting to fill in for not only this game, but also our championship game, which will follow.
There's Vieira. I'm sure they don't want him to shoot. Tommy Knott, good stop. Out of bounds.
Well, we're the Tec Voc Hornets. When we come down and we don't have that fast, quick break or that quick turnover, what we've got to do is we've got to slow down now, understand that we've got ourselves a 12-point lead, and the longer we have the basketball, the Mennonite Brethren Hawks can't score. So if there's nothing there very early, how about we run our half-court offense?
We're seeing maybe a preliminary indication of what the final might be. Ross Shepherd T-Birds from Edmonton are more of a slowdown team like MBCI, whereas the Sudbury Lancers are an up-tempo team like Tec Voc. That's how they get their game going. The faster, the better.
Well, just as you mentioned, both games could, in terms of flow, be exactly the same. We'll just have to wait and see in terms of Edmonton and Sudbury what their strategy might be in that championship game.
Whichever team dictates the pace. There's a turnover. Workington cut off by, oh, great check by Joe Vieira. Stepped out of bounds, though.
Excellent hustle by Joey. Get a look at Joey there. He's a little upset with himself, but what he has got to look at, first of all, not only did he stop the layup, but he didn't pick up a cheap foul. He's got to be happy with that.
There's Laboon with a tough shot.
Well, offensively, as we can see for the last 3 minutes or so, Mennonite Brethren Hawks offensively are completely out of sync now.
3 seconds. 39-27, 3:15 to go, second quarter.
Well, this is hurting Tec Voc as well. What they've got to understand, they have the 12-point lead and the basketball. They have to show a little patience down at that offensive end.
Well, Laboon's drawn a crowd now. Clinton Lake with a hand on the ball. Knocked away. There's Owen Price. Vieira. Oh, he missed Ian Lavallee underneath the basket.
That time Ian was wide open.
Three-pointer, Tommy Knott.
That's a good hit by Tommy. It goes against any philosophy that we're talking on the screen here, Brian, but when they go in, it really doesn't matter. You can throw philosophy and out the window. I mean, it's an extra 3, and with just 2.5 minutes left in the first half, the Tec Voc Hornets enjoy a 15-point lead.
Oh, when you feel good, you just keep going to the hoop. That's something you can't coach neither, is tempo.
No, there's definitely no doubt about it. Get a look at Coach Opalco there on your screen. He's very upset right now. They had a cut to 3, and now the Mennonite Brethren Hawks find themselves down 15 to Tec Voc in this third place game in Tec Voc's own gymnasium. It's going to be a tough long haul out of this.
Clinton Lake short on that one, brought down by Vern Peters.
Clinton kind of forced that one. I'm pretty sure that coaches Bouchard and Martin would have liked to draw the ball out and reset.
There's Laboon. Maybe that's what MB has to do, is bring Laboon from the offside to the ball instead of having to set up on the ball where Tech can already double team him.
Well, there's definitely have to be some movement in the low post by Laboon, because as you mentioned, what we have is once he goes down there and set up, he already has 2 players waiting for him.
Tommy Knott, I don't know if he called that board. And Horse, you got to call those ones, but they all count.
Well, we get a look at Tommy running by our table here. He's laughing himself. He just kind of threw that up and it went in, and right now everything's going right for Tec Voc.
Another turnover, 45-29, minute and a half to go.
Once again, Mennonite Brethren, as we can see, out of sync offensively. What they've got to do over this next minute and a half is play some tight D, try and cut that lead down, and let's go into the room at halftime and see what we can come up with.
Vieira to Lake. To Knott. Man-to-man defense right now by Mennonite Brethren.
This is much better job by Tec Voc. What they might want to do is look at, even with a minute left in this half, Brian, is taking the last shot. Kill the clock.
Bit short there.
Once again, everything going well for Tec Voc. Terrible shot. The rebound is picked up by Price. Unfortunately, we've got Clinton Lake with a 3-second lane violation.
Ron cut off to Laboon. You got to get your big guy underneath the basket. Oh, good dish. Clinton Lake with the quick hands there. Vern Peters has to can that one.
Well, what happened there is that's what we've got to do if we're Mennonite Brethren almost every time. We had John Laboon here on this side of center instead of throwing in the ball, and we use Laboon to break the pressure, I should say. John looked up the floor. Automatically, it's a 3-on-2, 3-on-1 for Mennonite Brethren. Unfortunately, as you mentioned, they couldn't convert, and then once again, another mental error here. 35
seconds to go. I thought Tech might have gone for a last shot, but they called Clinton Lake there for a travel, trying to wheel on John Laboon.
Well, in terms of Tec Voc, they've been very fortunate. Over the last 3.5 minutes, they've offensively gone to the hole really hard when they really haven't had to. We're not saying that we want them to stop playing, but at the same time, what they could have done is done a lot better with the clock than they have.
Going to the hoop, Vern Peters. Kept alive there by Dale Nickel. 5 seconds to go.
This could go in.
Vieira, a long shot.
Well, that ends the first half with the home side Tec Voc Hornets enjoying a 45-31 lead over the Mennonite Brethren Hawks. Just about everything went right for Tec Voc in that first half. Everything that is, except for that last shot by Joey. But if you're Coach Opalco and the Mennonite Brethren Hawks, as we get a look at Coach Opalco going off the floor, if that one would have gone in, he wouldn't have been too surprised about that one either.
Halftime score, Tec Voc Hornets 45, Mennonite Brethren Hawks 31. High scorers right now is Joe Vieira, 17 points on the strength of 5 3-pointers, and Tom Knott with 15 points. For Mennonite Brethren, John Laboon and Ed Ron with 10 points each. There's a good shot at Coach Ken Opalco, and I'm sure he's going to have to really charge up his charges in the start of the second half here. Remember to stay tuned for the second half of our third place game.
Hello, I'm Angela Work.
Welcome back to the second half of our third place game where Tec Voc Hornets have a 45-31 lead over the Mennonite Brethren Hawks. I don't know, Laurie, that first half, I mean, it was so up-tempo, but you would figure that a team is ranked second in the province of Manitoba, the Mennonite Brethren Hawks, with a record of 16-4, facing a team, you know, 16-12, should have a better fate than to be down 14 right now.
Yeah, but one thing that we have to remember is in terms of the WIT tournament, and this being the 15th annual, it's a real big thing here at Tec Voc. I had the privilege of not only teaching but also coaching here, and the entire school and the entire staff get up for this particular tournament. For Tec Voc to be playing in the third place game has got to be a real big deal for these guys. It shows the good job that Coach Martin and Coach Bouchard are doing there with this particular team. And as far as Mennonite Brethren is concerned, you can't come out lackadaisical. You can't afford any mental lapses, because for Tec Voc this is a big thing, and for a lot of years this ranks right up with not only getting into the provincials, but in terms of basketball player at Tec Voc, this is the highlight of the season for a lot of them.
I guess you're right, you know, and with the up-tempo game that Tec plays, either you win big or you probably lose big, and I'm sure that's indicated by their 500 record.
Well, that's exactly it, Brian, and it just so happens that right now they came out of the gate real quick. They've got Mennonite Brethren back on their heels, managed to keep them that way for the entire first half, and they enjoy a 14-point lead.
I think that Mennonite Brethren's really missing John Bergman and his 20 points plus a game right now.
Well, there's no doubt that Bergman hurts. First of all, however, Ed Ron has done a super job for Coach Apolko in trying to pick up that slack. What's going to have to happen here is Mennonite Brethren is going to have to show a little bit more patience than they're doing right now.
They're stolen away by Vieira. It's going to be a tough grade 12 player next year, Joe Vieira.
Well, in terms of Joe, he knows no danger at all. As I mentioned during our break, Joe comes to play every game, and he's doing an exceptional job right now for the Hornets.
John LeBoon just off the mark again. He really has to cash in on those, Laurie. He's the only guy up, you know, level with the rim, and he has to finish off.
Well, unfortunately for John, I know he's quite a bit frustrated in the first half, and right now what he's got to do is settle down. The entire Hawk team has to settle down, and that's what they've got to do. As long as Tec Voc stays in the man-to-man, let's move the basketball and get it inside to LeBoon.
LeBoon should have a heyday too. I mean, Tech's not going to block him. They're just trying to disrupt his game.
Now, what they're going to do is they're going to set people on him and rag him like crazy. And as you mentioned, Brian, what you might want to do if you're Mennonite Brethren, get a little more motion at post area, and not let Tec Voc just simply sit on LeBoon as they've been doing thus far in the game.
It's Tommy Knott with a shot pulled down on defensive boards by LeBoon. Marshall Workington to LeBoon inside. Oh, LeBoon, tough offensive rebound. Kept alive by Brian DeVries.
Well, first of all, a real tough shot by John. I think what happened there is he got himself a little too low, Brian. He should have kicked the ball back out and then simply replanted himself. Once again, a very tough shot, but good follow by DeVries. And the Hawks, what they need to do is to get both of these foul shots, play a real tough D down at the other end, perhaps go into that big 2-3 zone a little bit sooner than perhaps they might want to, and show a little bit of patience down here at the offensive end.
Brian DeVries at the line to shoot too. Saw that one go right through that hoop.
What we got to do if we're Tec Voc, you know that Mennonite Brethren is going to lie down and die. So they're going to come back at you, and if they happen to get a little bit of a roll going, what the Tec Voc players have to do is not fold.
2 points from the line for Brian DeVries, giving him 4 in the game. MBCI's chopped that 14-point lead down to 10 now. 45-35. LaValle with the ball. Good fake. Oh, good fake there by LaValle. Doesn't get the roll, though. Brings down the offensive boards. Challenges LeBoon. LeBoon, there's a volleyball player if ever I've seen one.
Well, John is one of the many players that we've had that is volleyball and basketball, excellent in both sports.
Got down by LaValle. Vieira
job by Joey. That really hurts Mennonite. 10-point differential, as you had mentioned, is what they had created. Laboon with the big block, and then they turn the ball over again.
That was a tough play. Tom Knott with a good defensive play, and he just tripped over Vern Peters' feet.
Well, what we've got to do if we're the guards for Mennonite Brethren is we're going to have to bring ourselves under control a little bit better than we have.
There's Laboon off the board. 14 points now for last year's WIT All-Star, John Laboon.
Mennonite Brethren is going to stay in that man-to-man. They're going to try and cause some turnovers here, Brian.
Three-point attempt by Jamie Fissel.
It's a good job by Tec Voc. What they're going to do is, long as Laboon is going to watch Fizzle, I think what they've got to do is bring Fizzle right out of the low post area, try and get John Laboon away from the boards.
I think what Mennonite Brethren is going to have to do after they watch this on TV is they're going to have to fake and feed, and the one thing they're going to have to really do is learn how to catch the ball. They're one step ahead of, you know, their actions, and they're just out of sync right now.
Well, what we have is the passing has really been atrocious over the last 15 minutes or so for the Mennonite Brethren Hawks. And as you said, and as we've mentioned earlier in the telecast, they're completely out of offensive sync, but a lot of that has to go to the real hard work that's being done by the Hornets.
LaValle to Fissel, back to LaValle, two-point attempt, short, kept alive.
What's really hurting Mennonite Brethren now, they're just starting to stand around and watch.
Joe Vieira with a flat shot there. Ferdy Christoma.
Then Mennonite Brethren just throws the ball away. Mennonite Brethren is becoming completely unraveled.
Joe Vieira got lucky there, but it shows up on the score sheet. 21 points now for Joe Vieira, 51-37. There's that 14-point lead again that we saw at halftime.
Well, what happened is the Hawks came out, and for about the first 15-20 seconds of the second half, they managed to execute what Coach Opalko had asked for. But since then, there's just been nothing. Once again, they're getting rattled in terms of defense. They're playing very poor defense. They're standing around, and then when it comes to the Tec Voc pressure, as you mentioned, Brian, they're just pounding the heck out of that basketball.
John Laboon at the line to shoot two, and I know the Tec Voc bench was up there saying that Laboon got away with a little bit of offensive pushing. He's starting to clear his own space now. What Tech's doing is putting two trees on either side of him and saying, shoot over us, but Laboon is using his size to muscle inside and get some leverage on those shots.
Well, what's happening is, as we mentioned, John, is as we see Coach Bouchard, as far as he's concerned, he has quite the protest here. I think not only is he protesting the fact that Laboon is starting to create some space, but also the fact that he doesn't really understand why that's a shooting foul. He believes that Laboon had to be fouled when he was still on the ground, and as far as he's concerned, it's not a shooting foul. But as he scratches his head there, what we're going to see, of course, it really doesn't matter, as John's going to go to the foul line here.
Short on his first attempt.
Well, what's going to happen if John is unsuccessful on this attempt? It's going to add some strength to Coach Bouchard's conviction that he was right.
Both of those ones are off. Still 51-37. 6 minutes, 10 seconds to go. Third quarter. Remember to stay tuned for the second half of our doubleheader with the #1 and #2 rated teams, Sudbury Lancers and the Ross Shepherd T-Birds. Killing a little bit of time. Killing a little bit of time off that. Yep. Good patience. Well, okay, until Vieira got the ball.
Once again, another offensive rebound for the Hornets. It's one of the places that the Hawks really miss Bergman.
Christosoma.
Ferdy once again just allowed to walk in. Mennonite standing around looking at, right now they've got the best tickets in the house.
There's Laboon again. Oh, that had to be a charge there. Yep, no basket. Good call by referee Kurtz there. John Laboon just shouldering in there.
Well, as we mentioned, John's really frustrated. Now what he's trying to do is absolutely everything for the Mennonite Brethren Hawks in terms of trying to pound the boards, and as we can see, just working a little bit too hard. What he's got to do is, as you mentioned earlier in the first quarter, Brian, the fact that he's not interning all of the way. He's got to get a full intern, and what will happen is he'll create space with him for himself, also see who's set up to take the charge against him.
Laboon with a defensive board, brought down by Ron. Oh, there's an out-of-control move there by Dale Nickel. He's cut off on the baseline, though.
Well, Nickel's going to be lucky here because it looks like Ferdy is going to take a silly foul there. Nickel was going absolutely nowhere. As you said, he was out of control. And what's going to have to happen here is the Mennonite Brethren Hawks are going to have to start playing to their own tempo. Right now, as you see Coach Bouchard and Coach Martin, they've got everything going their way. The Hawks are playing Tec Voc basketball. If they continue to play this way, they're going to lose.
Vern Peters just short there, but again, he failed to catch the ball off the pass, which caused him to get out of his sink. Tommy Knott, good fake there on Peters. Oh, Greg Bouchard's up yelling foul on that one. LaValle.
Good long look here by Laboon. The bogey for an easy two. If we're Tec Voc, we can't allow that to happen.
Here's this up-tempo game again. Just falling right into Vieira's hands. Clinton Lake going baseline. Oh, lovely shot. Oh, good reverse layup there by Clinton Lake.
That's a good job by Clinton. He's come a long way, and this is first varsity year. As you get a good look at Coach Bouchard there, he wants to see a little patience. Here comes that dribbling again. Really tough to break this pressure when we're just simply going to dribble the ball.
Ed Ron's going to have to look up, though. If there's two people checking him, that means someone's open. You have to pass the ball. It looks like MBCI has really left it up to Ron to break that press, though.
Well, it seems what we're going to do if we're Mennonite Brethren. We're just going to leave Ed Ron in the backcourt, and it doesn't matter if he's double or triple team. And offensively, we're just going to come down and throw it up to Laboon. And as a result, we don't have a team game going on at all if we're the Mennonite Brethren Hawks.
Vieira, three-point attempt. Defensive board by Laboon. There's Ron, a little bit out of control again. That's excuse me, Laura. It's another place for the Miss Bergman, though, is that grade 12, a little bit of stability.
Well, definitely with John, he's going to help them on the defensive boards. As Tec Voc, this has got to be their 8th or 9th offensive board of this the third quarter. This is something that he was relatively unheard of against the Mennonite Brethren team.
There'll be a timeout there by Tec Voc. Score 53-39 in favor of Tec Voc over Mennonite Brethren Hawks. 3:25 to go, third quarter.
Well, once again, we're looking at a difference of 14 points, just as when we started this second half. If we're the Mennonite Brethren Hawks, we're going to have to get involved in a team game. As we mentioned earlier in the first half, there is no way that the Tec Voc pressure should be bothering them as much as it is. They're having a real hard time breaking the press. When they get down to the offensive end, they're only looking for Laboon, and the Hornets are doing a super job double and triple teaming them. Down on the defensive end, they're just simply standing around, and Tec Voc are getting second and third shot opportunities. Coach Bouchard and Coach Martin have to be really happy with this so far.
I agree totally with you, Laurie. I mean, this up-tempo game is definitely in Tec Voc's favor.
Well, if what the Hawks are doing is they're playing Tec Voc Hornet basketball, and as I mentioned earlier, if they don't come out and execute in terms of a team game, they're going to lose this basketball game.
14-point lead, high scorers in the game right now. Joe Vieira with 21 points, Tom Knott 15, John Laboon with 14 points for MBCI. No one in foul trouble right now. There's been actually a real absence of fouls in this game, even though as helter-skelter as it's been.
Well, the thing is, as far as Coach Kurtz and Referee Kurtz and Referee Krimble are doing, they're calling a real good game. There's a lot of fouls that have been asked for on both sides of the coin here in terms of Coach Bouchard and Coach Opalco, but I think there's been an awful lot of good no calls.
Clinton Lake going right by John Laboon for that quick first step.
Once again, nobody looking, no one filling the lanes.
Another turnover.
Well, what we have is just a series of actions that's starting to become monotonous. We have an easy Tec Voc basket and then a quick Mennonite Brethren turnover.
Shot off there by Nickel. Good hustle by Nickel. However, Tec Voc ball. I don't think either team has enough patience to just make a pass instead of putting the ball on the floor.
No, what we have here right now is, you mentioned it, we're playing rat basketball right now. The thing that's in favor of the Tec Voc Hornets is they enjoy a 16-point lead. So their mistakes, of course, aren't as glaring.
Referee Crimble calling the ball out of bounds to Tec Voc. Clinton Lake saves, goes around Laboon. Oh, great move. Just got to, he'll be finishing those off as the grade 11 player this year.
Well, that's the second time he's done that.
Three-pointer by Tom Knott, 18 points for Knott.
Well, what we have with 2 minutes and 17 seconds left in this, the third quarter, the home side, the Tec Voc Hornets, now enjoy a 19-point lead, Brian. What we have here is, in terms of Coach Opalco, he's going to get into a situation here where he's thinking of clearing his bench and trying to get some players on there that are simply going to play some defense and listen to him a lot better than the 5 that he's had on there thus far in the third quarter.
If you're Tech, you just have to be happy with your players right now. They got the feel, you know, the home court advantage. Crowds here, up 20, you're playing a top-ranked team. It's fun to play basketball when you're in a situation like that.
Well, definitely, Brian. Right now, Tec Voc has the flow really going their way. And what they've got to do, of course, is to keep things into perspective, however. As you mentioned, you're playing one of the top-ranked teams, so you have this 19-point lead. There's really no need to continue this rat basketball. What they simply have to do is go out and execute. They execute. Of course, it's Mennonite Brethren that has to take the chances. Mennonite Brethren, unfortunately, as we get a good look at from as I'm
my alma mater.
I'm simply looking. I was about to say your alma mater. Of course, we have Coach Brian Thompson from the Windsor Park Royals here in the crowd, and he's a little confused at the score right now as well.
I might add, they're ranked #1, Laurie, for the second year in a row. 5-second call there on number 15, Dale Nickel. Good defense by Tech. That's probably the worst thing a coach can handle is a turnover after a timeout.
Well, what happens, of course, is when you're Coach Opalco, you're sitting there on the bench and you feel like you're one of the loneliest people on the planet, because what's happening is you're talking to 5 young men and you think they're listening to you, but when they go out and execute, or I should say not execute, the way that the Hawks are doing at this particular time, you got to wonder.
In the valley, faking right, going left, and I'll tell you what, the Red Sea just opened right up. He was the only guy in the key. That shouldn't happen.
No, because it definitely shouldn't, but here we have another turnover. As far as the Mennonite Brethren Hawks are concerned, they stay in this man-to-man. We're going to get a lesson right here from the Hornets.
LaValle, recipient of a great pass by Joe Vieira. LaValle, 6 points in the third quarter. Tech really going to town now, 62-39, 1:23 to go, third quarter.
Well, what's happening is Coach Opalco is simply trying to search for 5 guys that are willing to work, and thus far in the game, he hasn't been able to find them.
Here's Ron with the ball right now. And Tech still playing tough defense. I mean, it's not getting any easier for MBCI neither.
Well, there's no way. As we get closer and closer to the end of this third quarter and the game, the Hornets are going to pick the tempo up. The hardest thing that you're going to have to do if your coaches Martin and Bouchard is just to try and rein in the enthusiasm of the Tec Voc Hornets.
Ed Ron to inbound the ball. Tough shot there by DeVries. Okay with the ball. Good pass into Laboon. He's got to power that one.
Once again, as you mentioned, John's got to finish those off, but everything's going wrong for the Mennonite Brethren Hawks in the second half. We thought that things were a little bit questionable in the second half. This third quarter has simply been disaster for Coach Opalco's Mennonite Brethren Hawks.
Out of bounds play. I'm sure we'll see some picking action across to free someone up. Peters back out to Bouquet. To Ron. Good board there by number 40, Owen Price.
It's a good job by the Hornets, allowing just that one-shot opportunity to the Hawks. Good no call by referee Kurtz.
Joe Vieira short on that one. one of the few he's missed since he caught fire there, though, Laurie. He hasn't been taking no shots either. I guess when you're sitting on the big lead, you know, kill some time, get it inside to your big buddies.
Well, like I say, in the fourth quarter, that's going to be the hardest job for coaches Martin and Bouchard. Is, as we can see right now, Tommy not giving the signal to go for one. This is what the Hornets have to do. If they can execute here over this next 15 seconds and either get a good attempt or a basket, they're going to be darn tough in that fourth quarter, Brian.
8 seconds to go. Vieira. Chance for three, brought down by DeVries. 3 seconds to go. Ron has to put this one up.
Well, there we have it, Brian, the end of the third quarter, and as I mentioned, disastrous for the Mennonite Brethren Hawks. What has happened, of course, is with Mennonite Brethren, they're starting to sag down. They're now down 23, and as far as Coach Opalka is concerned, he just wants to find 5 guys that want to work together. Offensively, they are out of sync. Defensively, they've gotten themselves behind so far that they have to stay man-to-man, and that, of course, works to the advantage of the Tec Voc Hornets. You get a look there at Coach Opalka. What he's trying to tell his guys, forget the scoreboard right now. Let's go out and play. What they've got to do there, as we mentioned, a top-ranked team, and they've got to save a little face here in the fourth quarter, Brian. That's all that they have to do. If they manage to get on a roll and a victory's in sight, that's a bonus.
Tec Voc outscoring MB 17-9 in the third quarter, put them up 62-39. High scorers in the game: Joe Vieira 21, Tom Knott 18, Ian LaValle 11, Ferdy Christoma 8. For MBCI, John LeBoon with 14 and Ed Ron with 10.
Well, the thing, of course, that we've got to look at in terms of how poorly things are going for the Mennonite Brethren Hawks, at the three-quarter mark, they have a total of 39 points. This is a team that averages in the high 80s for most of the year. So we get an idea of just how poorly things are going when it comes to executing at the offensive end of the floor.
So on Price with the ball to inbound the ball. Long pass across to Derwin Ramirez.
What we've got to do for the Tec Voc Hornets is we want to show a little bit of patience here at the offensive end of the floor. Try and keep LeBoon away from us. Ferdy goes to the hole.
Double figures for Ferdy Chrysostoma.
It's a good job by Ferdy, as you mentioned, Brian. The thing that really hurts if you're the Mennonite Brethren Hawks is there's nobody filling the lanes at all.
Every once in a while, what can happen to a team is you depend on the big man too much. And everybody becomes lackadaisical. You know, they've had it too good, and all of a sudden, you know, when they're on the forefront, it's tough.
Well, as we mentioned right off the top of the show, the Mennonite Brethren Hawks, they right out of the gate, they had a chance to score. LeBoon controlled the tip. They missed an easy layup right at the beginning of the game, and things have just simply gone downhill from them right off the very tip-off of this game.
There's Clinton Lake. I don't think he shouldn't be taking a three-point shot. It doesn't matter how high you're a scorer up, you shouldn't be taking that shot. LeBoon knocked it that way easily.
No, that's, I think at this particular time, if your coaches Bouchard and Martin, you might want to rest Clinton a little bit and have a little chat.
Ed Ron with a shot. Good board by DeVries. Running hook there by Hans Boge. Remember to stay tuned for the second half of our doubleheader. The Sal Lancers of Sudbury, Ontario, ranked #1 in the tournament with a 30-6 win-loss record. They were the city champs in 1988, and they had a great three-point shooters. #2 ranked team in the tournament, Ross Shepherd Thunderbirds from Edmonton, city champions the last 2 seasons, provincial champions and finalists in 87 and 88. 3 returnees from the top team of last year. They have a record of 105 wins, 12 losses in the last 3 years. Stick around for that game.
Well, as we mentioned earlier in this telecast, we were talking about the fact that our championship game might go something like this one in terms of the 2 teams that were involved in the styles of play that they enjoy. If we're the Mennonite Brethren Hawks now, what we're going to have to do is work a lot harder on the defensive end. Unfortunately, at the offensive end, they're still out of sync and really working much harder offensively than they really should be.
Tommy Knott at the line to shoot 2. Still no one in any serious foul trouble at all. With score 64-43, 8:16 to go, fourth quarter of the third place game at the Wpg Invitational Tournament.
Get a good look at Tommy there on your screen as he nails the first one. If we're Mennonite Brethren, please don't sleep, because I'm pretty sure if Tommy nails this one, the Hornets are once again going to come with three-quarter court pressure.
20 points now for Tommy Knott. 1 point behind the game's high scorer, Joe Vieira.
Here comes that Tec Voc Hornet pressure that's really hurt Mennonite Brethren, and you get a good look on your screen why it's hurt them. We just simply want to dribble that ball. If we're Mennonite Brethren, we seem to be content.
And Ron pulls that one down. 32 into the game now, West ends. Long outside shot by Ed Ron. Gives him his first points the second half, 12 for the game.
A little bit of indecision there as to what to do, Brian, but as we talked about, Mennonite Brethren's working too hard at the offensive end. It shouldn't be that hard. Now, first of all, you've got to look at their own decision. Plus, the other thing that we've got to remember, you've got to give credit to the Tec Voc Hornets. They're playing real tough man-to-man.
Blake back to Vieira. LaValle. Good defense by Ron. Kept alive, though, to LaValle. 2. Ian LaValle, 13 points.
And another steal once again. It looks like this one's going to go against Ian LaValle in the battle for the loose ball. What we have is we have Ian impeding Laboon's progress. This one's going to be hard for Coach Bouchard to swallow again.
Jamie Fizzle back into the game.
7 minutes and 10 seconds left in this, the third place game, Brian. What we've got to do if just what we see, an easy throwaway. That just about sums up the entire game for the Mennonite Brethren Hawks. Mentally, they have not been in this game since the tip-off.
I concur with you wholeheartedly. I think that their turnover total is going to start rivaling their points total pretty soon. Bertie Christosoma going to go to the line there. Ed Ron picking up a personal foul.
Well, that's a good job by Ferdy. I mean, as we said, Mennonite Brethren has gotten themselves into such a hole that what they've had to do is stay in the man-to-man. And as we've seen, the Hornets have really hurt them with real good execution. And the Hawks just simply not rotating at all, filling any lanes. And as a result, we're looking at the Tec Voc Hornets closing in on another 20-point lead.
Here's Ferdy at the line, sinking his 11th point of the game. Got some good balance in the scoring for Tec Voc right now. Whereas, you know, the real scoring in MBCI right now, they're really depending on Laboon and Ron.
Well, what we're looking at is one team that's playing a team game, and the other team is simply playing a two-man game. And I think, as we've mentioned right off the hop, that it's the team that plays together that's going to win here.
Tom Knott for 3. Game's high score, 23 points.
Well, that one was much better by Tommy. That one didn't kiss off the glass. It wasn't a rocket. And what's happening is the Hornets are now moving in, zeroing in on a 30-point differential here.
Baseline jumper there by 15, Dale Nickel. His first bucket. Might throw in this tidbit to our viewers. John Laboon with only 4 points in the second half, none in the fourth quarter. It's pretty tough to come back from a deficit when your big guy doesn't score.
Well, as we mentioned, as we were coming down to the last stages of the first half, Brian, it's really tough. It's a nice feed inside by Tommy Knott. Ian takes it up strong, and once again, an offensive board goes over the Hornets. Good job by Ferdy. He takes it up strong.
Blocked by Laboon.
To finish that, Brian, once again, as we were mentioning, you can't have your best player get the ball off the offensive glass and expect to win.
72-47. 5 minutes, 46 seconds to go. You see referee Wes Krimble there calling a foul. No bonus yet. Ed Ron to inbound the ball.
Well, what we have now is the Hornets enjoying that 25-point lead. I think we've got a timeout being called here by Coach Bouchard. All he wants to do is simply reassure his players is we've got a 25-point lead, just 5.5 minutes left in this game. What we've got to do is show a little bit of patience offensively. There's not necessarily any need to score all that much more. What we have to do is play really tough, and let's keep Mennonite Brethren off as much as we can. On your screen right now, you've got a look at Coach Bill Wedlake of the University of Winnipeg-Westman. Very happy, as we can see, enjoying one of the few weekends off. Down here, of course, looking at a number of the high school players. They, of course, on the Westman enjoy player David Zgrota from Sudbury. And what Coach Wedlake is doing, of course, have a look at a couple of those other players, the Sudbury team that will be looking towards graduation in June.
There's Coach Greg Bouchard, Tec Voc. Now we have Coach Kenny Opolko. Guess he doesn't have that much to say to his kids.
Well, if you're coach at Palco, there's not too much more you can say. What it's going to have to be happening here is if you're the Mennonite Brethren Hawks, we've got 5.5 minutes to make this close. I mean, we're not going to win. But what we've got to do is make this close. They have to dig deep within themselves as a team. Coach Opalco has said everything that he's been able to say to them. They have to want to play. They want to have to execute. Coach Opalco can only tell them he can't play for them.
Remember to stay tuned for the championship final of the 15th annual WIT tournament. LaSalle Lancers from Sudbury, Ontario. Brad Hahn, the league's most valuable player last year. Prolific scorer from three-point range, averaging 21 points a game. Derek Hartley, 6'2" forward, rebounding both ends of the court. Ross Shepard of Edmonton. Andre Lapierre, 22 points a game. Greg Badger, who's the quarterback of the team.
That's a miss by Laboon, and right away the Hornets, they come down, and we're going to have to see what happens here with the Hornets offensively in the next 5.5 minutes.
Tom Knott with the ball, going right around number 12, Phil Peters. Brought down by Nickel.
It doesn't seem to matter who Coach Opalco has on Tommy Knott. Tommy Knott's out at the three-point line. He gives that head fake, and whatever Hawk is on him seems to go for it for some reason.
There's Laboon inside. That's his first bucket, I believe, of the fourth quarter.
It's a good job by John.
That was a good middle. I think that was one of the first times that they've had a middling as opposed to dying at one of the low post areas.
Well, what we had is John came across, cutting to the ball, got it inside. He turned, and coaches Bouchard and Martin are a little upset about the contact. But you got to understand, if you're a defense player, you're going to stick your nose in there. You're going to get it smacked a couple of times. That was a good move by John, and he's going to go to the line to try and complete the three-point play.
Good. John Laboon, 17 points now.
Well, we're looking at a 22-point differential with just 5 minutes left in the game. As I said, if we're the Mennonite Brethren Hawks, we want to play hard for this last 5 minutes and get back into this game as much as we possibly can.
LaValle did not. Laboon with a tough defensive board.
Super job by John, but as we can see, what happens when he gives that outlet pass, if whatever Mennonite Brethren hockey gives it to, he stops the forward motion by dribbling the ball.
There's Laboon with an inside power move. Often called the best player in the province right now, but I think the St. James Jimmies might have a little bit of argument there, Laurie.
Well, they've got a player over there by the name of Bob Heighton, who I think would match up really well with John.
Well, no, that was a front stop by Clinton Lake. Laboon trying to post up inside. Ron, always tripped there by LaValle. Ian LaValle called for a personal foul there.
Well, what that's going to do is put Eddie to the line, and for Mennonite Brethren, we can't miss too many more of these opportunities.
72-52, 4:17 to go. Had Ron at the line to shoot a bonus.
Well, after that timeout, we can see that offensively, the Hawks are executing a little bit better, and I think what we have is we're going to get a shot here from Mennonite Brethren. They're going to make their last final run of the game.
Just off there by Ed Ron. Can't add to his 12-point game total. Joe Vieira with the ball. A bit quiet here in the second half. Joe with only 4 points after jumping out to a quick 17 points at halftime. Oh, yeah, almost tried to disprove me there.
Well, what happened is Joey really hurt them in the first half, and of course he probably would like to be shooting the ball a lot more, but what we have is Coach Bouchard has told him to take his time. He's telling all of the players there's a lot of time goal. Let's go down. Unfortunately, what is happening is the Hornets go down the floor, and now they're starting to put the ball up with only 25 or 30 seconds gone on the clock. What they might want to do, it's 3:59 left on the clock. We've got to take as much off the clock as possible.
Oh, it looked, first of all, I thought no one blocked out John Laboon, and then Clinton Lake with a great block from behind. Clinton Lake at only 6'2", really gets up there, though, Laurie.
Well, that's right now we're looking at a 20-point lead. Nice steal coming up here.
Good bucket and steal by Dale Nickel.
It's a good job by David as he takes it right to the hole. What I was going to say, however, it's in terms of Mennonite Brethren, they've got to really nail down these chances at the foul line.
I mean, offensive foul there. I didn't quite see who was on, but I'm sure it was away from the ball, trying to create a little bit of space.
I think that what that is Clinton Lake. He's getting a little upset with the beating that he's taking from John Laboon. And unfortunately there, he tried to get a little shot in John Laboon, but referee Kurtz won't have anything of that. With 3.5 minutes left in the game, referees Kurtz and Krimble will make sure that this game doesn't get out of hand at all.
Substitutions into the game. Ferdy Chrysostoma back in, replacing Clinton Lake.
What the Tec Voc Hornets are going to have to do is show a lot more patience here. They're slowly giving the Hawks far too many chances. Fortunately enough for the Hornets, however, the Hawks hadn't been able to take advantage of any of these chances until John Laboon got to the line.
Gets the roll there, John Laboon. Capitalizing on both ends of the bonus. 72-56. 3.5 minutes to go. Third place final.
Well, what's happened is the Mennonite Brethren Hawks have almost chopped this in half now, and with 3 minutes left in the game, they're only down 16.
Greg Bouchard yelling out, "Work the clock."
Well, this is when Coach Bouchard would like to have the ball in his hands. When he was playing for Danny McIntyre here in his gym, that was one of his jobs, of course, was to settle things down and get the ball inside to some of the big men like former Daniel players such as Ken Kylick and Leroy Steele when they had the Twin Towers.
There's Laboon with a good offensive board. Starting to pad his totals in the fourth quarter. A little bit too late, though.
It's a little bit too late for the Mennonite Brethren Hawks, and the Hornets should have this game well in hand. All that Coach Bouchard wants them to do is to show some patience, move the ball. They should be taking a shot if they have to, about every 45 seconds at most.
LaValle with the ball.
This is a good job by the Hornets.
Sorry, not directing traffic. I think they really want to keep the ball in the hands of, in the hands of the ball handlers right now.
Well, what they've got to do is the Mennonite Brethren Hawks have 3 fouls to give here, and they're either going to have to start fouling some people, but by the looks of what's going on and by the looks of Coach Opalco, he'd just as soon Tec Voc have the ball for 2 minutes and run out the clock so that he can get out of this game.
LaValle to go to the line. Nope, not to shoot a bonus yet. Referee Kurtz out of bounds underneath the basket. Inbound by Owen Price.
In terms of Mennonite Brethren, if this game was a lot closer, they'd be in some good situations in terms of the fouls, because we mentioned they have 3 fouls to give before Tec Voc goes to the bonus.
Tommy Nutt, 3-point attempt. Pulled down by Nickel.
No need to shoot the basketball.
Greg Bouchard yelling at his young players, just saying, we don't need that. Hard shot by Ron off the bucket. Minute and a half to go, 74-58.
Good job by Ian LaValle to slow things down. If you're Tommy Nutt, Joe Vieira, and John LaValle, what they should be doing for the next minute and a half is simply playing catch, Brian. Make Mennonite Brethren Hawks foul them.
There's a personal foul there by, I believe, Eddie Ron. This Tec Voc team lost to the Edmonton entry in preliminary action, as did Mennonite Brethren lost to Sudbury. Knocked out of bounds by 32, Wes Ends.
What the Tec Voc Hornet players have to understand is that this game is theirs. There's only a minute and 21 left in the game. They enjoy a 16-point lead. And what they have to understand here is the game is theirs. There's no need to shoot. Let's keep the basketball moving.
Whoa. Joe Vieira with a long one. Oh, Laboon just threw Chrysostoma's shot right off Wes Krimble.
Unfortunately for the Tec Voc Hornets, what they have to do is simply execute here. Understand what coaches Bouchard and Martin are going to try and do. There's not too many times where they're going to be enjoying a 16-point lead. They're going to have to play some controlled basketball. Now is the time to practice that.
Clock didn't move there for a little while. 1 minute to go. 74-58, third place final. Tec Voc sitting on a nice 16-point lead right now. It was actually fashioned more at halftime than anything else.
Well, as we mentioned earlier, Brian, this game was over for the Mennonite Brethren Hawks extremely early. They controlled the opening tip-off, had an easy layup to go up to with just a few ticks off the clock. They didn't convert there, and ever since then, things have been downhill. They just simply have to get out of that big 2-3 zone, play man-to-man, which really hurts them because of their team speed. We look at a situation where they're missing a big player for them, John Bergman, but whether or not John happens to be on the floor with that sprained ankle for Mennonite Brethren or not, still they've got to come out and play a team game, and a part of that game is they've got to be mentally aware and ready to play.
Oh, Tommy Knott with a nice layup. Used his body to shield the ball away from Laboon and just laid it off the basket. Great shot by Tommy Knott.
Conversely, what we have to do is take hats off to the Tec Voc Hornets, who came out ready to play tonight. Real tough man-to-man defense, not afraid of John Laboon in the middle. Took it to Laboon. Joe Vieira, of course, shooting against that 3-3 zone, hit 4 or 5 3-pointers, hit the shots that he needed to hurt that zone, and a well-deserved third-place finish for the Tec Voc Hornets. Coaches Bouchard and Martin got to be really happy.
Final score in the game. Third place final, Tec Voc Hornets 76, Mennonite Brethren Hawks 58.
Once again, as you mentioned, well-deserved victory for the Hornets. In terms of the Mennonite Brethren Hawks, they've got to come to play. The Tec Voc Hornets did. The Hawks got themselves into a situation where they had to play the type of game that is really beneficial to the Hornets, and the Hornets hurt them. On the Mennonite Brethren side, you got to feel sorry for Coach Alpalco being without John Bergman, but the rest of the players got to understand when they put the Hawk jerseys on, they got to come ready to play.
High scorers in the game, and the game's high scorer, number 25, Tommy Knott, with his number, 25 points. Joe Vieira, 21 points. Ian LaValle, 13. Ferdy Chrysostoma, 13. For the Mennonite Brethren Hawks, John Laboon, 23. Ed Ron with 12, and Vern Peters with 10. Final score in our third place game, Tec Voc Hornets 76, Mennonite Brethren Hawks 58. Remember to